I've got this article. We'll start off with this. This article I wrote a while back, and it's actually a podcast as well, and it's called Everyday Prep or Everyday Carry for Preppers from Head to Toe. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit. The main part of this that I wanted to talk about, and we'll start off with this, is the knowledge and let me change screens here. Knowledge and operational security, situational awareness, operational security. On this, it's got self-defense too. I'm sure we'll get into that as well. But I think when you're talking about everyday carry, that the stuff that's in your melon, I think is almost the most important. I mean, the tools and all of that stuff are definitely important, but I think the stuff that's in your head makes those tools and everything, I call it force multiplying skills. They make those tools and everything even more valuable. So it's like say a knife or a multi-tool, something like that. You can have that, but if you don't know how to use it, it's just kind of taking up space, right? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's 1,000% true. There's a lot of people you'll see who'll carry like medical gear, which everyone should obviously carry medical gear. And EMT arrives, you give it to them, let them do it. A lot of people are carrying ferro rods, don't know how to strike it. A lot of people are carrying, I'm going to use, said knife for batoning, but obviously this knife wouldn't be good for batoning. So it's definitely very important to have skills and know what you're doing with it instead of just going out. Because if you're doing it from more than just like, I want to get gear, if you're doing it from a survival standpoint, you can find yourself in a situation to where you've never used that gear before, and it's not going to operate the way you want it to, or you're just not going to have the skill, which is going to pitch you and possibly an even worse situation than you were in before. So having like the knowledge and skills to actually do it and actually practicing the skills, going out and into the woods, using your knives, using your ferro rod, stuff like that, that's very important.
Yeah, yeah. And along with that, the operational security, the situational awareness, all of those things that can keep you out of having to maybe use those tools or keep you out of different situations. Oh, yeah. So I think that stuff is, I mean, the tools, the supplies, and all of that are super important. But I think it's that stuff that it can't be overlooked because that's critical as well, that paying attention to your surroundings. And that goes for preparedness in general, I think, not just everyday carry stuff. And I mean, everything we do in preparedness, the more we can keep ourselves out of a bad situation, the better off we're going to be with all this stuff. So very cool.
You can't be perfect if you have a year worth of food and you make sure it's not expired. So yeah, exactly. So I suppose, let me look at my notes here. Let's go ahead and start off with the basics. We talked about our melons. So that is the most basic and one of the most important parts of it. But also let's go into what we carry on our body. Basically, with me, at the very basic level, every morning when I get up, whenever I change clothes, I've got three things that no matter what are in my pocket. That's my wallet, my lighter, and a knife, a pocket knife. And it expands after that. But at the very least, if I don't have those three in my pocket, I feel like like you're missing something, right? Like you're unprepared for something. So those are the three things that are absolutely essential, like getting up in the morning. But that's not the only things, right? What do you do as far as that basic stuff on your person? So much like you, phone, wallet, keys, life, all the basic stuff. Everyone just in 2022, we've grown accustomed to having our phone on us, just like attached to us. I mean, so that's right there. And then from a prep standpoint, that's communication. Comms are super important. But other than that, similar to you, I actually just have it on right here. So when I leave, I'm grab it off my desk. My first thing is I always carry a light. I work third shift, so I just like having my light on me. I do bouncing at a bar on the side. So this is a string light wedge. I have it. I have a lot of lights, just depending on the situations, what I'll carry. And then on my keychain itself, I have a little I2R Pro. But other than that, flashlight, two knives. I like my Gerber Fast 06 for more in-depth tasks. If I need anything heavier. And honestly, for actual day-to-day use, I've been carrying the Gerber pry bar. Pry bars are super big in the EDC right now. It's kind of like the new trend. So having a nice little pry bar is nice. I have a bunch of light ones. I just prefer this. But then to use this blade as opposed to the Fast 06, it keeps this blade nice and sharp when you need to actually use it. But other than that,
those are the most basic things. And then obviously a bag of some sort, just because I carry so much stuff. I like having redundancies, as you said, for my redundancies. Just having everything up here.
Well, on that, you had mentioned the keychain, and I guess we'll start with that. And then I want to talk about your chest pack right there. But with the keychain, I've got this picture right here, and I believe this was the light you were talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
And then is that the box cutter that you just had, or what is that on the keychain as well?
So that is the primary. Like I said, if that was a super lightweight carry that day, so I took most of this stuff off the keychain right here and just had the Rovion E5, which is, I have multiple keychains because I like carry different things on different days. But yeah, that was just this right here. I took this clip and I fed it through the lanyard hole. I just carried it like that. Super light E.D.C. They're private, weighs nothing, and then neither does any of this. And it's just a super easy carry. Now, obviously, I wasn't driving that day, so I didn't need my car keys. But if I'm driving, then I'll switch to this. But this is my typical keychain. It has my 2R Pro. And it's just different things. Gerber shard. Or this is a light ice equivalent. So,
what are your thoughts on how much weight? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Were you still talking?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say I have different gear sets for different days, basically. I have a blue set, a red set, an orange set, so on and so on. Just depends on the day.
Wow. That's nuts. I've got a set. On my key ring, I wanted to get your thoughts on how much a key ring weighs and the damage it could do to your, if that's still a thing these days with the newer cars. But on my key ring, I've got a small little lightweight flashlight. I've got a little sort of kind of a multi-tool thing. I don't carry a lot of stuff on my key ring, but that is one place where you can, and a little tiny knife, but that is a place where you can, get some of those smaller things, and just that keys, they're going with you everywhere anyway. So even if you don't, I've got another flashlight that I use, but that one on the key ring is, not the greatest, but it's going to work if I needed it. So it's a kind of a why not. But as far as weight, I've heard that too much weight, your keys can actually damage the steering column. Yep. Is that why you kind of do that lightweight? I mean, I've seen dudes with key rings that are, way too much stuff. But, you got to, I think moderation is probably the key for that. And if anybody in the chat knows, let me know. But what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, personally, I love my cars. I've had about 5 Mustangs in my lifetime. My every daily car, whatever you want to call it, isn't actually a Mustang. So I definitely don't want a bunch of weight hanging from the ignition. So that's one concern I would have. And that's why it depends on the day. Like if I'm wearing sweatpants, I don't have anything to really loop this hanger through. This goes through like an actual lanyard. And I'll loop through my belt loop and just let it hang.
Okay.
But I used to have KeySmart, which KeySmart used to send me stuff. They're a good brand. But their functionality kind of failed on me, and I just didn't like the way it did. So I went back old school and just used a key ring. Just like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All these fancy key organizers, yeah, they're cool, they're a trend, but just, everything works different for different people. I just started going with all key rings and then clipping them onto my belt loop or using a lanyard. And then, as you see, I don't carry a lot of keys. I have my car key, my house key, my mailbox key, and that's it. And then the light, like you said, which is a why not, and a tiny multi-tool.
Yeah.
So weight's definitely a concern. With EDC in general, though, that's one thing a lot of people, like, they're like, yeah, all this gear, and then they just strap it onto their belts and their pants start falling off. It's like, it's not going to do you any good if your pants aren't secure to your body.
Yeah.
That's my stance on weight. It's just, it depends, obviously. Your attire is going to make a giant difference in what you can carry, which is why I carry a lot of stuff up here.
Yeah, I've got my key ring. I've got one that it's basically 2 that you can hook together. And on one of them, I've got like my safe keys, the important keys that I won't necessarily need while I'm out. And those are stashed in the house. And then I've got the small one, which is, basically just, the house key, the car key, the keys that I need for that everyday stuff. So, yeah. Let me see if I can find this picture. You also, since we're on this, I've got somewhere on here, I've got a little clip of you had a video where you did a $600 EDC challenge, which I believe the premise of that was to try to fill out your EDC for under $600, right?
Yes, sir.
And I've got a clip here. You're talking about the wallets, and this is something because I've still got the old school, old man wallet, but I'm looking at some of the ones that you've got on here. So I wanted to play this clip real quick and show them the different types, and then you can kind of go into it after that.
Okay, so this is take number 2 on my wallets because I didn't cover up my card number. So basically, long story short, I do have 3 options. Super minimalist, never carry. The 2 that I do carry are these 2. Carry a $2 bill in both for good luck. The Dingo wallet, 007. Does have a pin built in, 2 birds, 1 stone, but this is not what I'm going to be using for this video. Does have a book, pretty solid, nice wallet. But typically on an actual EDC day-to-day basis, I'm carrying the Trayvax 2.0. Holds all your cards. I can do this now. Paracord, you can pull it out your pocket like that. Has a bottle opener. All in all, it does everything that I need a wallet to do by being minimalist and holding my cards and some cash.
All right, so some pretty cool options. And I've even thought about, and I may actually go that route, but kind of the same sort of design, but with RF shielding. Explain those 2 wallets that you were talking about. That first one looked kind of cool. And do you carry them in your front pocket?
So I'll do the one I typically carry second just because I'll be more into that one. Also carry a Ridge wallet, which has the RFID blocking that you were talking about. I've just never really carried it because it's not really my thing. I like having my pocket clips. But so the first one, yeah, it's the Dango. This is a 007 Goldfinger. Like I was telling you before, I buy a lot of stuff on Facebook just because this is a $150 wallet, and I got it for a lot cheaper than that. So let me put the pin back in here because it fell out. So yeah, this one has a nice little book. Even in here, you'll see I always have something to write with. You never know when you need to leave a note for somebody or if you just need to give information. Especially as a YouTuber, if you're like, I have business cards. But let's say I don't have them. I'm like, yeah, here's my channel. Check it out. So there's that. And then beyond that, this comes with a little multi-tool, which is hard to get out, so I'm not going to pull it out. But if you need it, then you go through the trouble to get it out. Nice little pin. And this is really good leather. But in all my wallets, I'm kind of old school in that regard. I carry my cards and my cash. Because my main job actually worked in payment processing. I deal with credit cards. I deal with technology. That's my work set up back there. So I know firsthand that credit card machines go down because I'm the one that fixes them. So beyond that, it's always going to just have some cash. And I think it was Such, maybe one of the OGs in the prepping community. I'm not sure. But pretty much they explain, I have like 5 1s, 2 5s, 2 10s, a 20, just to have different variations because you never know. Somewhere might not have change, and you just pay $20 for a pack of Tic Tacs, and you can't get change. But that's pretty much 007 wallet. It's nice. It's fancy. If I'm going somewhere where I want to present more of like a formal appearance, I'll wear like my copper EDC set, and then I'll rock this. And this it just goes in my back pocket, just like your old school leather wallet, because it's thick anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
This one, whenever I first got this, is Trayvax OG 2.0. Super minimalist, money clip, lanyard, hold your cards. That's all I need. I don't need a whole bunch of extra stuff. I used to use this as a pocket clip and put it in my front pocket.
Okay.
Instead of sit like that. And people were concerned, won't that pull the money out? I never had an issue with that. The money stayed in perfectly. Beyond that, the way I typically carry would be in my back pocket, or if I have my on-body chest bag, I just put it in the back like this. Then I zip it up, and there it is. I need to spend some money. Boom, there we go. Tap to pay. And it's this super minimalist wallet. You can change the paracord. The paracord came black. I didn't want it all black, so I threw red and gray on it. Wallets aren't exactly the most exciting part of EDC, but it is a part that people often overlook until you start having back pain from a big, thick leather wallet, and then you start thinking, now I need something smaller because I'm sitting like this all day. So, definitely the Trayvax OG 2.0 is like my number one wallet.